Seniors, stop taking these 3 vitamins. They are destroying your leg strength. You know, there's something comforting about routine. That little moment in the morning when you take your vitamins, sip your coffee, and quietly begin your day. It feels like you're doing something good for yourself. Maybe you've been taking the same supplements for years, even decades, because someone once told you they were essential. And it made sense. You want to protect your heart, your brain, your bones. You want to keep moving to stay independent. But what if I told you that some of the very vitamins you take with such care might be gently, almost imperceptibly working against you? Not overnight, not with pain or drama, but slowly, quietly, weakening your legs, your balance, your confidence, making stairs feel a little taller, making walks a little shorter, turning strength into hesitation. It's not your fault. No one told you. And that's why I want to talk with you today, not to scare you, but to gently open a door of understanding. Because in my decades of caring for older adults, I've seen how small decisions, when left unexamined, can have surprising consequences. So if you're open to it, let's take a closer look together, just you and me. Let's find out what your body may have been trying to tell you all along. Part 1. A familiar morning routine that could be quietly changing your legs. You trust your vitamins, but are they quietly changing your body? Let me take you back to a quiet Wednesday morning in my clinic. I was sitting with Mr. Thomas, a 74-year-old retired mechanic with gentle eyes and strong hands that once rebuilt engines. He came in, not for any major issue, but simply because my legs feel heavier these days. Doc, no pain, no injury. Just a slow, creeping feeling that his strength wasn't what it used to be. Like many older adults, he took a multivitamin every morning. He told me proudly, "Doc, I never forget them. Every day, right after breakfast." It was part of his rhythm, just like brushing his teeth or feeding the cat. But when we looked deeper, we found something surprising. His supplement, which claimed to support energy, brain health, and aging, was giving him 3 times the recommended amount of certain vitamins that over time were quietly interfering with his muscles and nerves. The truth is, we rarely question what feels familiar, but as we age, our bodies become more sensitive. What once supported us in our 40s may not serve us the same way in our 70s. It's not that vitamins are bad, it's that too much of certain ones, taken without medical guidance, can shift from helpful to harmful, especially when we take them daily, for years, without review. Your morning habit may feel small, even noble, but if your legs feel a little less steady, if your balance is just a bit off lately, the answer might not be age alone. Sometimes, it's the habits we trust most that deserve a second look. In the next part, let's talk about a vitamin that's been marketed as a miracle for years, yet may be gently undercutting your strength without you even knowing it. Part 2. Vitamin E, the well-meaning supplement that may betray your balance. You take it for vitality, but is it making you weaker instead? Vitamin E has long been sold as a kind of wonder pill. It's supposed to help your heart, support your skin, and keep you feeling young. I remember when it first gained popularity, patients would come in clutching bottles, hopeful it might protect them from aging itself. And honestly, I didn't blame them. The promises sounded so good, too good. But over the years, I started noticing something subtle. Patients who were otherwise healthy began describing changes that didn't quite fit the usual aging pattern. They'd say things like, "It's a little harder getting out of chairs lately," or "My legs feel tired quicker than they used to." One woman, Mrs. Elkins, told me she had to start holding onto the wall as she walked down her hallway just to be safe. When we looked into it, a common thread kept appearing: high-dose vitamin E supplements, often taken without a second thought. The tricky thing about vitamin E is that it's fat-soluble. Unlike vitamin C or other water-soluble nutrients, your body doesn't flush out the extra. Instead, it stores it in your liver, your fat tissue, and over time, that buildup can interfere with muscle coordination, strength, and even nerve function, especially when the dose climbs above 400 IU a day, which many over-the-counter supplements easily exceed. What starts as a little wobble can grow into real instability. Not overnight, but gradually, gently, until one day the stairs feel like a mountain, and you're not sure how you got here. It gets more concerning when we realize that vitamin E can also thin the blood. For folks already taking blood thinners, this creates a dangerous combination. A minor fall could lead to major bleeding. A bruise that should fade might turn serious. Now, I'm not saying vitamin E is always bad. It has its place, but only when truly needed and properly dosed. The real danger is not the vitamin itself, but the quiet way it builds up, unnoticed. If you've been taking vitamin E regularly, especially without your doctor's input, it might be time to pause and ask, is this helping me, or slowly working against me? In the next section, we'll look at another vitamin 1 that's been praised for its benefits to vision and skin, yet may be silently hollowing out the very bones that keep you standing tall. Part 3. Vitamin A, a silent thief of your bone strength. What if the vitamin meant to protect your eyes was quietly weakening your hips? Vitamin A has a long-standing reputation as a protector. It's linked with good vision, healthy skin, and a stronger immune system, all things we care deeply about as we age. Many seniors I know take it daily through multivitamins, fortified foods, or even old habits like cod liver oil. And for the most part, it feels harmless. Natural. Even. But here's what we don't always hear: vitamin A, when taken in excess, doesn't leave quietly. Like vitamin E, it's fat-soluble. That means your body stores it, sometimes for years. And when the levels creep too high, as they easily can with overlapping supplements or fortified foods, it can begin to erode the very foundation of your mobility, your bones. I remember one patient, Harold, a widower in his 80s. He loved reading by the window and always took his vitamin for the eyes. He told me, one day, after simply stepping down from his porch, he fractured his hip. No fall, no accident, just a shift in weight and a bone too brittle to carry him. Studies now confirm what we saw in Harold. Chronic high vitamin A intake is linked to decreased bone density, especially in the legs and hips. And as you know, a hip fracture in later years isn't just painful, it can alter the entire course of a person's independence, but the risks don't stop with the skeleton. Excessive vitamin A can also weaken the muscles around those bones, particularly in the thighs and hips. That might show up as fatigue after a short walk or an ache that never quite goes away. Most dismiss it as getting older, but in many cases, it's accumulated imbalance. Not age, that's speaking through your body. That's why it's so important to pause and ask, how much vitamin A am I really getting between my supplements, my diet, and perhaps even my old habits? Because what once served you well may now need to be adjusted with care. In the hands of a thoughtful physician and a body that's truly listened to, health can become simpler and far safer. In the next part, let's talk about a vitamin often praised for boosting energy and brain health, yet it may be the very thing dulling your connection to your legs. Part 4. Vitamin B6. When energy turns into numbness. Tingling feet, uncertain steps, a strange numbness in your legs that makes the floor feel different. For many older adults, these sensations are quietly brushed off, blamed on aging, poor circulation, or perhaps a touch of arthritis. But sometimes the cause is hiding right there in your medicine cabinet. Vitamin B6 is often seen as a friend. It helps support the brain, metabolism, and energy. You'll find it in multivitamins, energy supplements, and even brain health blends marketed to seniors. I've had patients come in proudly telling me they take B6 every day for mental sharpness. And for a while, it seems to work. But here's the quiet truth: too much vitamin B6 over time can become toxic, especially to your nerves. Unlike many other water-soluble vitamins, B6 doesn't always wash out of the body. When taken in high amounts, often over 100 milliliters a day, which some common supplements easily reach, it begins to interfere with the nerves in your legs and feet. I recall a patient, Carol, a retired librarian, who came in worried that she was tripping more often and couldn't feel the edge of the steps. Her gait had changed. She didn't feel as steady. At first, she thought it was early neuropathy from pre-diabetes. But after a thorough review, we found that she'd been taking multiple supplements, each with a hefty dose of B6, pushing her well over safe limits. What Carol was experiencing was peripheral neuropathy, a condition where the nerves no longer send clear signals to the legs. The result is numbness, tingling, poor balance, and a growing fear of falling. The hardest part: sometimes the damage doesn't fully reverse even after stopping the supplement. That's what makes this so important: catching it early, before it becomes permanent. Vitamin B6 has its place, especially in those with a proven deficiency. But for most older adults, taking extra just in case can do more harm than good. And so if your steps have started to feel unfamiliar, or your legs feel like they're not quite yours anymore, take a moment. Look at your supplements. Talk to your doctor, because restoring your confidence might begin with removing the very thing you thought was helping. In the next section, let's explore why our bodies handle these vitamins differently as we age and why even safe doses may become risky over time. Part 5. Why aging changes. How your body handles vitamins. At 30, your body could handle more. At 70, it's a different story. It's one of the most overlooked truths in medicine: our bodies age, but our habits often don't. We keep doing what we've always done, eating the same meals, taking the same pills, moving in the same ways because those things once worked for us. They brought stability, energy, maybe even peace of mind, but your body is not the same as it was 20 or 30 years ago. And that matters deeply when it comes to vitamins. As we grow older, our liver processes nutrients more slowly, our kidneys filter less efficiently, and our muscles and bones become more vulnerable to imbalance. Fat-soluble vitamins like A and E tend to accumulate more readily. Water-soluble ones like B6 may not flush out as quickly as they once did, especially if your kidneys have begun to show signs of age. That means even a normal dose on the label may be too much for your body now. Think of it like this: your younger self could fill a large container with nutrients, and your body would adjust. But as we age, that container shrinks, and we're still pouring in the same amounts, unaware it may be overflowing. The result: a quiet buildup of substances that your body can no longer use properly. And unlike an allergic reaction or food poisoning, these shifts don't scream, they whisper. A slower step here, a heavier leg there, a hesitation on the stairs that wasn't there last spring. This isn't about fear, it's about recognition. What nourished you once may need to be recalibrated. That's not failure, it's wisdom. The same kind of wisdom that reminds us to eat softer foods when our teeth change or to rest more deeply when sleep becomes elusive. Your body still wants to thrive. It just needs your awareness to match its needs. Up next, let's talk about something even deeper: the emotional weight of weak legs, and why this isn't just a physical issue, but a matter of identity and independence. Part 6. The emotional cost of weakened legs. It's not just about walking, it's about freedom, dignity, and identity. We often talk about legs as if they're just mechanical things: muscle, bone, joints. But anyone who's felt their strength slipping knows the legs carry far more than weight. They carry your independence. When you start avoiding stairs, it's not laziness, it's instinct. When you pause before stepping off a curb, it's not hesitation, it's awareness. But little by little, those moments pile up. You stop walking to the mailbox. You choose the elevator instead of the garden path. You sit longer, move less, plan around your limitations instead of your desires. And it's not just your body that changes. Your world becomes smaller. I remember a patient, Mrs. Jenkins. She once loved cooking for her family, hosting her grandkids, strolling after dinner. But after a small fall, nothing serious, she began doubting her legs. The confidence drained from her step. "I don't feel like myself anymore," she said softly one afternoon. "It's like my legs don't belong to me." That sentence has stayed with me. Because we don't just lose strength, we lose identity. The ability to say, "I've got this." The joy of walking unassisted. The dignity of choosing when and how to move through the world. That's why this conversation matters. Not because of a number on a vitamin label, but because your strength is your freedom, and your freedom is tied to who you are. If your legs feel different lately, not just slower but less trustworthy, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off as just getting older. Your body may be asking for attention, and your spirit is asking to keep standing tall. In the next part, let's talk about how to bring your doctor into this conversation, how to ask the right questions and make sure your supplement routine still serves you, not just old habits. Part 7. How to talk to your doctor about your vitamins. The most powerful prescription may begin with a simple question. So many of my patients, good, thoughtful, well-meaning people, come into my office with a small plastic bag filled with supplements. They place it gently on the table, look me in the eye, and say, "I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing." And I always smile, not because the answer is simple, but because the question itself shows wisdom. Too often, we treat supplements as separate from medicine. We trust the bottle, the brand, the commercial, but forget that even natural things can carry consequences, especially when our bodies have changed. So how do you begin this conversation with your doctor? Start with honesty. Bring in everything you're taking, every bottle, every pill, even the ones that seem harmless. Don't rely on memory. Let your doctor see the labels, the dosages, the combinations. Ask clear questions. Do I still need this? Is this dose right for my age, my kidneys, my liver? Could this be affecting my legs, my balance, my energy? Look for a doctor who listens. Not all physicians are trained in geriatrics, the art of understanding the aging body. If your doctor rushes past your concerns or waves away your questions, consider seeking someone who treats older adults with the attention they deserve. Because you are not just managing supplements, you are managing your future strength, your safety, your independence. In our next section, we'll step into the kitchen, not the pharmacy, and explore how food, in its most natural form, may still be the best medicine for your aging body. Part 8. Let food be your first medicine. Your kitchen may be the best pharmacy you have. It's easy to forget how powerful real food can be. In a world of shiny bottles and glowing health claims, we sometimes trade what's nourishing for what's marketed. But the truth is, your body still recognizes food first. That's where it feels most at home. When I talk to patients about cutting back on supplements, the next question is always, then where do I get what I need? And my answer is almost always the same. Your plate. Vitamin E. You'll find it in almonds, sunflower seeds, and leafy greens. Vitamin A. Think carrots, sweet potatoes, and spinach bright. Beautiful foods that your body knows how to handle in balanced portions. Vitamin B6. It lives in chickpeas, bananas, salmon, and whole grains. Unlike pills, Food offers nutrients in harmony with fiber, antioxidants, and natural buffers that help your body absorb only what it needs. It's a gentle conversation, not a loud command. And more than that, meals feed more than your muscles. They feed your connection to your family, your culture, your memories. The smell of a slow-cooked soup, the texture of warm bread, the quiet joy of preparing something with your own hands. That is medicine too. Of course, there are times when supplements are necessary, when deficiencies are real and diagnosed. But even then, food should be your foundation. The daily habit, the grounding place. So before you reach for another capsule, open your fridge, visit your local market. Think about how you can nourish your strength from the inside out, one bite at a time. In the next part, we'll reflect on how these little shifts, these quiet choices can turn a routine into a path toward healing and freedom. Part 9. From Habit to Awareness. Transforming your health. What you do every day builds or breaks your strength. I often remind my patients that aging is not a decline, it's a shift. A shift in how we listen, how we respond, how we care for ourselves. And one of the most powerful shifts we can make is moving from habit to awareness. Taking a supplement each morning might feel automatic, like brushing your teeth or turning on the light. But not all routines deserve our blind loyalty, especially the ones that affect our legs, our nerves, our very ability to move freely through life. This isn't about guilt. It's about curiosity. It's about asking, is this still right for me now? It's about pausing long enough to notice, does my body feel different after I take this? And most importantly, what else might serve me better? You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Change doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful. In fact, the most lasting changes often begin softly with a question, a journal note, a conversation with your doctor, or even just a quiet decision to skip a pill and eat a colorful meal instead. Because when awareness enters your routine, healing begins. Up next, let's bring it all together. I'd like to leave you with a closing thought, a reflection on strength, freedom, and what it means to grow older with wisdom rather than fear. Not all vitamins are harmful, and not all routines are wrong. But every routine deserves a second look, especially as your body changes. What we've explored together isn't about fear, it's about clarity. About understanding how even well-meaning habits, like taking a daily supplement, can carry quiet consequences when they no longer fit your life as it is now. You've worked too hard, lived too long, and come through too much to let something small but persistent take away your independence. Your legs are not just for walking, they are your anchor to freedom, your access to joy, and your confidence in moving through the world. So today, you've done something powerful. You've opened your mind. You've listened to your body. And maybe, just maybe, you've started to ask better questions, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Let that be your compass. Let food be your first medicine. Let your doctor be your ally. And most of all, let your awareness become your daily practice, because awareness is the doorway to strength, and strength is what allows you to live life on your own terms. If this video has stirred something in you, a question, a memory, a quiet truth, please share it in the comments. And if you found it helpful, pass it along to someone you care about. We learn better when we learn together. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay steady, stay kind to yourself. And above all, remember, growing older isn't the end of strength, it's the beginning of a new kind of power.